Who is Isabella Guzman and what she is famous for? Stick to the end of the video and we will tell you the story of an innocent-looking psychopath. The quiet suburbs of Aurora, Colorado, masked a horrifying secret. 18-year-old Isabella Guzman stood in her family home, forever marked by a chilling act. She had stabbed her mother, Unnerving, 79 times. The brutality of the act sent shockwaves through the community. Her stepfather's discovery of the scene was nothing short of horrific. Unnerving lay lifeless, her body ravaged by violence. Standing over her was Isabella, still clutching the blood-stained knife. The image was chilling, a grim tableau of a family shattered. The question echoed, why? How could a young woman commit such a heinous act against her own mother? As the investigation unfolded, a disturbing picture began to emerge. Isabella was a young woman grappling with severe mental illness. The trial of Isabella Guzman was as much about her crime as it was about her mental state. The courtroom became a battleground of expert opinions. At the center of it all was Isabella's diagnosis, schizophrenia. The prosecution argued she understood the consequences of her actions. They pointed to her attempts to conceal the crime. The defense painted a very different picture. They called upon a psychiatrist who had been treating Isabella. He described a young woman utterly consumed by delusions. Isabella did not see her mother when she committed the act. She saw Cecilia, a malevolent entity. In her mind, Isabella wasn't committing murder. She was saving humanity. 7 years passed. Isabella Guzman, once the subject of horrified whispers, seemed to fade into the background. Confined to the Colorado Mental Health Institute at Pueblo, she became a number, a case file. But in 2020, she resurfaced, pleading for a second chance. In a candid interview, Isabella claimed that the medication and therapy had worked. Her sanity, she asserted, had been restored. Gone were the delusions, the voices, the terrifying visions. But her plea for freedom was met with skepticism and fear. Isabella's plea for release opened a Pandora's box, unearthing a history fraught with pain and abuse. She claimed that her idyllic suburban upbringing was a facade, masking a darker reality. According to Isabella, her home life was far from ordinary. She alleged years of physical and emotional abuse, inflicted not only by her peers, but by those who were supposed to love and protect her. The abuse, she claimed, escalated after she left the Jehovah's Witnesses faith at the age of 14. These allegations, while difficult to prove, painted a disturbing picture of Isabella's formative years. Could her mental illness be attributed, at least in part, to the trauma she endured? The court was forced to grapple with these uncomfortable questions. Was Isabella a victim turned perpetrator? Her violence a desperate attempt to break free from the cycle of abuse? Isabella's accusations did not end with her family. She claimed that her abuse continued even within the walls of the institution meant to help her. According to Isabella, she was sexually assaulted by an employee at the Colorado Mental Health Institute at Pueblo. The assault, she alleged, took place in a closet, a space meant for storage transformed into a chamber of horrors. Her story was a chilling reminder of the vulnerability of those in mental health facilities. Isabella's case highlighted a systemic failure, a breakdown of trust between patients and caregivers. Her allegations were met with a mixture of disbelief and skepticism. Some questioned her motives, suggesting she was fabricating the assault to bolster her case for release. Others saw her as a victim, failed by the very systems that should have protected her. Her case became a rallying cry for reform, a stark reminder of the urgent need for greater accountability and oversight in mental health facilities. Despite the trauma she endured, Isabella refused to be silenced. Determined to seek justice, she filed a police report in 2015 detailing the alleged assault. But her path to justice was fraught with roadblocks. The Pueblo County District Attorney's Office claimed they had no record of her case. The Colorado Department of Human Services, citing privacy laws, refused to release any information. Isabella found herself caught in a bureaucratic nightmare. The lack of progress in her case was devastating. The system, already perceived as failing to protect her, now seemed determined to silence her. But Isabella refused to give up. Her case became a symbol of hope for those who had lost faith in the system. Isabella's story, though mired in tragedy, became a beacon of hope, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Just when all hope seemed lost, a glimmer of light appeared on the horizon. After years of dead ends and dismissals, Isabella's case caught the attention of the American Civil Liberties Union, or ACLU. The ACLU, renowned for its unwavering defense of civil rights, recognized the significance of Isabella's case. They saw in her story not just an individual injustice, but a systemic failure that demanded attention. The ACLU's involvement injected a much-needed dose of hope into Isabella's fight for justice. No longer alone in her struggle, Isabella had found powerful allies. The ACLU's investigation unearthed a pattern of neglect and abuse within the Colorado Mental Health Institute at Pueblo. Their findings sent shockwaves through the state, forcing officials to confront the systemic issues that had allowed such abuses to occur. Isabella's case, once relegated to the shadows, was thrust into the spotlight, sparking public outrage and demands for accountability. While the ACLU fought for justice on one front, Isabella continued to wage her own battle for freedom. Years of therapy and medication, she asserted, had brought about a profound change. She was no longer the scared, delusional teenager who had committed such a horrific act. She was, she claimed, a different person, one who understood the weight of her actions and was prepared to take responsibility for them. Isabella's plea for release was met with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Her supporters argued that she had served her time and posed no threat to society. Her detractors, however, remained unconvinced. The court faced a difficult decision. Could Isabella's transformation be genuine? Could someone who had committed such a horrific act truly be rehabilitated? And if so, did she deserve a second chance at life outside the confines of a mental institution? The court's decision was highly anticipated. The media frenzy surrounding Isabella's case had reached a fever pitch, with every development scrutinized and debated. The courtroom was packed on the day of the ruling, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. The judge, after weeks of testimony and deliberation, finally delivered his verdict. Isabella Guzman was to be released. The decision was met with mixed reactions. Some cheered, seeing it as a victory for justice and a testament to the power of rehabilitation. Others, however, were outraged, believing that a dangerous individual was being released back into society. Isabella's release was conditional. She was to remain under strict supervision, undergoing regular therapy and medication monitoring. Her every move would be scrutinized, her freedom contingent on her continued progress and adherence to the court's stipulations. The years since her release have been a testament to Isabella's resilience and determination. Isabella Guzman's case stands as a stark reminder of the complex intersection between justice and mental health. It forces us to confront uncomfortable questions about culpability, accountability, and the very nature of rehabilitation. How do we balance the need for justice with the imperative to treat mental illness? Isabella's story highlights the inadequacies of our current system, one that often criminalizes mental illness rather than treating it. It underscores the urgent need for greater investment in mental health resources and early intervention programs. Her case serves as a call to action, urging us to confront the stigma surrounding mental illness and to create a more just and compassionate world for all. The story of Isabella Guzman is a tragedy on many levels. It's a story of a young woman failed by her family, by the system, and by a society ill-equipped to deal with the complexities of mental illness. It's a story of violence, of loss, and of the enduring power of the human spirit. But it's also a story of hope, of redemption, and of the possibility of second chances. Isabella's journey, though far from over, serves as a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable darkness, a flicker of light remains. It's a testament to the power of forgiveness, both for ourselves and for others. As we reflect on Isabella's story, we are left with more questions than answers. Her case is a messy, complex, and ultimately human story that forces us to confront our own biases and preconceived notions about mental illness, justice, and redemption.